What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 34 deadline stream, guys. How are you guys doing? How has your week been? Are you ready for Game Week 34 deadline? Are you ready for this double game week, which of course Chelsea is having, which of course United is having? And let me know how was your last week. In fact, my week was pretty okay. I think the Salah captaincy worked out pretty well. In general, I think that Ronaldo decision was a bit tricky because I think a lot of people wanted to go to let's say a Kane to a Ronaldo, but the kind of form that United showed, and it kind of did come true, right? Because the way United played against Liverpool, I think it was pretty horrendous, and I think in general, of course, it was a bit unlucky in terms of what happened with him. He could have played the second game as well. When I'm talking about Ronaldo here, but in general, I just feel that Salah was a decent captaincy shout. I went with Salah. I don't think so. A lot of people did go with Salah, and of course, the captaincy was pretty much spread in terms of where you could have gone, etc. But I think it was a decent week overall. 20,000 rank. In fact, I have to correct this. This is not 20k. I think this is around 25k, something around that. And just trying to push towards 10k. Do let me know what your goal is for this season, and at least for the next couple of weeks, because I think the next 2 or 3 weeks is also a good opportunity to kind of gain ranks, take a bit of a risk. Again, if you are, let's say, within the 1k, 10k, 100k, or whatever your aim is, and you are within that, then I think it's possible to go a bit safer in general. But I think this particular week also represents a good opportunity to kind of take care of certain assets. Of course, we'll talk about those Chelsea players. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of the people, or at least majority of the people, have at least one transfer as a Chelsea, whether it's a midfielder, whether it's a defender, whether it's a striker, anything. But I think a lot of people are still going for Chelsea players. So we'll of course talk about which ones to go for. I can very well assure you that probably till yesterday even I wasn't really sure which way to go. Of course, I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading, went on a lot of forums, scouted a few other places. Well, again, could come true, or we could still see a few surprises. But I think I have a set fair idea in terms of what's going to happen with the Chelsea games. Uh, have the likes of Martinelli still. So I haven't made. By the way, this is my team. I'm sure you can see it on the screen. I have not made the Mount transfer just yet. Yes, it's showing on the screen, and Rafinha was in his place. So right now the transfer is not made, but I'm just trying to see if I can get a little bit more information in terms of whether Martinelli is going to start or not, because United and Arsenal is the first game. We might get some leak lineup, some information regarding the Arsenal lineup. I personally don't think so Martinelli is going to start this one. Do let me know what you think about it, because I think last game they really did play well against Chelsea. The setup really worked well, and as far as I've seen, this season, last season as well, I think Arteta likes to go with a set template in terms of what's working. I don't think so. He likes to change it a lot. And I think Nketiah, especially with what's happening with Lacazette, with the comments that he made in the press that he's probably not going to start. He's probably is looking to leave the club. Probably wants to play for Lyon now, so he could leave for sure. I don't think so. Uh, yes, Arsenal is still fighting for the top four spot, but I mean Nketiah has done well, and then Arteta could still give him a lot of opportunities, maybe at least a couple of starts, if not more. So that could also be a decent shout as well. And let's see. I mean, because of that, I think Martinelli looks a bit tricky, but let's see. Hi Brian, hello to you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're ready for this week. Hi Flash, welcome to the stream. Brian, you're asking, do you prefer Cancelo and Laporte or Cancelo and Foden for the coming game weeks? Also, do you think Werner will play both games? So this is something that I also had in mind in terms of which combination to go for. Whether to go for a Man City defense, which is a lot safer. When I say safer, I mean, yes, they're probably the best defense in the Premier League right now. They will keep clean sheets. Cancelo and Laporte both. I mean, Cancelo has done really well from an attacking perspective. His numbers are okay, but he's not really gotten a lot of returns lately. Laporte is also, he represents some amount of risks or some amount of chances or some amount of gains in terms of scoring from, let's say, like a set piece or a corner, for example. But does that really happen all the time? Maybe not. But at least you're probably getting two players who are going to start majority games, right? Because there's so many injuries now to the Man City lineup. I was reading one of the tweets just before coming online, coming on the stream, that Pep is saying they have so much trouble at the back that one of the forwards could play centre back. I mean, of course, that's not going to happen, but he's just trying to make you understand the current state of the Man City defense. So let's see. I mean, it still looks like a safer option to go for. Foden, I expect Foden to get rested this week because he's very, very important for that Champions League game against Real Madrid. And I don't think so he's going to get rested there. He's definitely in Pep's strongest 11. So I think he will be benched. I still feel he probably will come for the last 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour, just to get that match sharpness before that important game. But I expect him to at least get rested. Now, that Champions League second leg is also going to create a bit of an issue because there would be some rotation there as well, right? And I feel for the next couple of weeks, Foden could be slightly tricky. I mean, if I have to go for somebody, I would probably look at someone like, let's say, like a Sterling, for example, maybe even a KDB. I know they're different price range, and you might not be able to fit in to that, budget and that price bucket because you're targeting a Foden, which is in and around that, Chelsea mid. There are a couple of other options as well. You have players from Arsenal as well in that particular price bracket, slightly lower than that. But I still feel if you're going risky, then Cancelo and Foden. If you want to go a bit safer, and if you want your players to start or get majority minutes, I still feel Cancelo and Laporte are the better options to go for. Coming to Werner, I think it's a pretty interesting one because very, very recently Tuchel has tweaked his setup, tweaked his formation. He's now playing, I think, a 3-4-1-2. And in that formation, he's playing Werner, at least in the last few games at least. He's played Werner in there. Now, what's happening there is that Werner's playing, among those top two players or the furthest up the pitch. And then you have somebody like a Havertz. Maybe you will get somebody like a Ziyech as well. We don't know that. But it's generally been Havertz. Last game against Arsenal, we saw Lukaku playing in that spot with Werner. The pro for that formation or for Werner in terms of that formation is that I think that he will be getting a lot of the ball. I think he'll be doing really, really well. And that really helps his chances of getting FPL points. The only disadvantage here, or the only problem that I probably would have with Werner is that he's played a lot of minutes recently. So there is a chance that he could get some rest. Now, whether that rest comes in the form of him getting benched or him probably coming off a little early, maybe around 60 minutes, 70 minutes, something like that. That is what the question is, to be very, very exact. I think he's definitely going to get minutes. Now, the question is whether he's going to start both games. I personally think that Chelsea still need to, secure that top four position. And I personally feel that they would want to do that before they, reach that FA Cup final. And at least in the next couple of games, at least for this particular week, I still feel Werner's going to start both games. Lukaku really hasn't looked that great. I think it's going to be a combination of Werner and Havertz with Mount playing as a number 10, which is a much more central position. And that really helps Mount's perspective as well. So I think at least for this double game week, I think Werner's going to play both. We could expect a lot of rotation in the game week 36 double. A lot of people are probably not counting this or discounting this, that Chelsea also have a double, so they're kind of jumping onto Chelsea assets. I at least have a plan in terms of my Chelsea exit, in terms of, which players of mine are actually exiting. And this is what Chelsea players I'm talking about. So I think you should need to have some sort of a plan in terms of what you want to do with those Chelsea players. Having 3 this week is absolutely fine because you're trying to go for the upside. You're trying to probably target, chase ranks, and, trying to play a little bit risky. But if you want to play safer, I think Werner probably wouldn't be the right way or the right approach. Went for Salah too. I mean, yeah, last week was actually good. Salah did really well. I'm going for Salah this week as well. I think I have enough differentials in there. I mean, the likes of Coutinho, Martinelli, Mount is definitely not going to be a differential. Werner, probably his ownership is, I think his EO is probably going to be around 20-25%, something around that. I think Mount will definitely be a lot higher. So James again could be around the 50 to 60% mark. So not really a lot of differentials, but I still feel, going captaincy Salah against Everton in a derby game, I think he's going to do well. And I still think that, a fair few amount of people will go for Chelsea assets because they would want to capitalize or maximize that point potential, right? Two games, sorry, in this particular game week, both games are very, very good in terms of Chelsea scoring goals, because Man United and West Ham both have been very, very average in terms of keeping clean sheets. Their defensive numbers have also been pretty off. I mean, both teams can't defend at the moment. So there is a chance that Chelsea can score points or score goals. And I mean, I think you would bet on somebody like a Mount or somebody like a Havertz to kind of get involved when Chelsea are, making plays or attacking or even scoring goals. So I think going Salah is still pretty safe in my opinion, and I think I'll definitely stick to it. Hey Ansh, hello to you as well. I mean, yeah, I know what happened with you. Kane captaincy by I mean, can't really call it a mistake, but yeah, I mean, I probably think there was a glitch or something. But let's just hope that we're able to save all of that trouble at least this week and at least till the end of the season, because and I think that's one of the reasons you should probably make changes or make transfers a little bit earlier, because you never know what's going to happen in the end, right? And just keep checking a couple of times before the deadline that you have the right team. I still haven't made that transfer, so I at least have one of my eye to kind of see the screen and see that page and keep refreshing it, maybe once in 5 minutes, just to understand if everything is working fine there. But yeah, I mean, I hope you have a good week this time around. So let's see. Don't have much confidence on the Chelsea defense after the Arsenal game. I mean, Rudiger is a big miss, to be very honest. I didn't think that Thiago Silva is also fit. I think there was some issue, excuse me, with Thiago Silva, and that's why he came on halftime and he didn't start the game. Now, if Rudiger is not there, I think Sarr is probably going to play. And yeah, I mean, having Sarr and Alonso on one side, I think it looks very, very tricky and very dangerous for Chelsea's clean sheet perspective. That's why, you know, there could be a chance that they could still keep one clean sheet. But yeah, I mean, West Ham and United have been okay in attack. I mean, they're not that bad. Christensen has also got an injury. I think he's got a knock. Of course, Chilwell is still out. I mean, it's going to be a back three of, let's say, it could be Thiago Silva, Chalobah, Aspilicueta, or could be Sarr as well. I mean, Sarr also played really, really bad. So I'm not sure. At least Rudiger's out for the first game. He could be back, but I think it looks a bit tricky for this particular week. I think it could be okay. He could be okay for next game week, but I think this game week it's looking pretty tricky. Still, having said that, I mean, you have the likes of James, you have the likes of Alonso, who have great attacking potential. I mean, yes, we keep talking about that attacking potential, and it doesn't come every week. Let's say somebody, as compared to somebody like a Trent or a Robertson, for example. But I mean, there is potential. We've seen that James has the potential to get you 15, 20, maybe 25 points. I mean, 25 looks a bit stretched, but I mean, you get the point, right? I mean, he can give you a lot of points. So let's see. Still transferring James. I mean, yeah. I've been burnt by James once at least this season, and I just feel that if I have to, move towards the 10K mark, I think there are a couple of chances that I'll probably will take. Uh, I mean, I can definitely take those chances in 36 and 37, but I still feel those game weeks will be heavily, chip utilized. I mean, what I mean to say here is that there'll be a lot of people using chips in 36 and 37. I don't think so. Everybody has used their free hit. I think a lot of people also have their bench boosts available. So I think that advantage probably could get negated. Having said that, this week as well, I have taken a -8. I know a lot of people have taken -4s, -8s, but there are a amount of people, certain amount of people who have their wildcard also available, right? So they would definitely be at an advantage because they wouldn't have taken those negatives. But anyways, I think this is a game, this is a week that you probably chase the upside, and I think Chelsea has enough potential to give us points, score in both games, maybe even keep a clean sheet. But I just feel Chelsea will go a little bit all out, and I don't think so. Rotation hits them just yet. I mean, I still feel there probably are a couple of games, and Chelsea securing that third spot. I think that is when we'll probably start seeing a lot of rotation. I still feel this week could still be okay. Ramsdale versus United or Foster versus Brighton. I think Brighton will score in that game. Southampton's defense is really, really bad. Ramsdale versus United. Again, United can even score. I think McTominay's back, so I think Bruno's going to play a little bit further forward. He's been playing as a defensive midfielder, literally as a defensive midfielder in a double game week where a lot of people captained him and they just got burned. But I just feel United probably have a goal in them, at least one goal in probably the whole double game week. And I think for that, and that could happen in the Arsenal defense as well. Arsenal's defense has also not been that great. I still think Partey is not fit. I think he's gonna be out for some more time, probably till the end of the season. I might have missed that, but let me know if you know any update regarding Partey. But I think Partey and Tierney are missing for a good amount of time, and I think that really weakens the defense a lot. So there's a chance that United can score. Ramsdale, I mean, I expect both the keepers to not keep a clean sheet, but I just feel Ramsdale, with the way he, generally does keeping, I think there are chances that he can get you save points. And I mean, he's generally, whenever he's been into save points in games as well, if it's a close game, it's a tight game, he also gets into bonus. And I just feel he's a better keeper playing for a better team. So I'll probably just go Ramsdale in spite of having United. I don't consider United as a very strong team at the moment, but I mean, they can still score. I'll still go Ramsdale for sure. And Nketiah will play. Martinelli benched. Let's see if we have anything certain there, but I also expect that to happen. Now, in case if I have certainty regarding that lineup, I'll probably just take out Martinelli, and I will keep Rafinha and get in Mount. I have the money, so money is not going to be a problem. For those of you who have joined very very recently or joined just now, I've still not made that transfer of Mount. I know it's showing on the screen, but right now I have Martinelli and Rafinha both in my playing 11. I will definitely let go of one. If I get news that Martinelli is definitely getting benched, then I'll probably go Martinelli to Mount. Otherwise, I'll go Rafinha to Mount. Anyways, I have to transfer out both players. I just feel Rafinha could get more minutes in this game, but the game is against Palace at their home, and it's an away game for Leeds. And I think Palace at home are really really strong. So there are chances that Rafinha might just blank. I just feel that he'll get probably more minutes. That's all. Would you rather captain Mount or Werner? I think out of the two, I'll still captain Mount. Going for a Chelsea player in itself is a bit differential. I still feel there are going to be a fair few amount of people who are going to captain Salah. So captaining Mount, I think I still feel Mount would probably outscore Werner in terms of at least expected minutes or actual minutes on the field. I also feel that Mount is a bit more consistent. There could be a chance that Werner probably comes off earlier in the game and probably Mount plays majority, maybe close to about 150, 160 minutes, right? I just feel Mount is a much more dependable option if you're literally going all out and if you are okay taking that risk and a chance, and if you are, let's say, doing a lot of catch up. I mean, let's say you're far behind in your mini leagues and you are trying to gain a lot of rank, then only I'll suggest somebody like a Werner. But in general, I don't think so Werner is a great captaincy option. I mean, that's why in my top captain picks also, I've kept him ahead of KDB. I'll probably, I mean, KDB can definitely outscore Werner, but I mean, you can still see among all the Chelsea options, he's the last ranked player there. I don't know if you remember me, but last week you told me to remove Dennis for I mean, yeah, I know I told you to, and I remember this comment because when Dennis scored, I definitely thought about this comment and I thought about you. But I mean, that happens, right? A lot of times, I mean, Dennis was not getting minutes. He was not really doing anything great from a goal scoring perspective. His numbers were really off. So the logical move from an eye test perspective and a stat perspective was that Dennis probably won't be doing that well, or he probably Mateta's probably gonna get more minutes, because that's what we've also seen, that the trend was that Mateta was getting more minutes. He was playing about 60 to 70 minutes and he was scoring an odd goal as well. So he generally looked like a better option. But I mean, yeah, that's just what happens. And it's happened with me a lot of times as well. I mean, let's say I remove one of Martinelli or Rafinha this week, right? I'm pretty sure one of them is gonna get returns, and it's just classic FPL. I mean, you back the eye test, you back the data, you back your own gut. But in case if again, I also always tell you or tell everybody that whatever your gut is saying, I think that should be your end call. I should not be the end call or the end or the person who's making decisions for you, right? Otherwise, what's the point of playing FPL? Of course, the the intention of this stream is to just talk about this particular game week, what are my thoughts, and probably share your thoughts as well, and get to understand what you guys are thinking. But I'm definitely not here to tell you do this or do that. Ultimately, the final call should always be yours. But yeah, I mean, that just has happened a lot this season as well, where the person you remove or the player you remove generally end up scoring that the same week. Could happen with me with Kane as well. I mean, I've removed Kane and got in Werner. Kane could definitely score against Brentford, right? But that's the risk that you take. Would you play David De Gea or Dubravka? I think David De Gea could still make saves. I know Dubravka is playing Norwich, but Pookie can score. I mean, Norwich can score. And I think Norwich has been playing okay. I would still expect Dubravka to probably keep a clean sheet. But I mean, end of the season, Norwich are definitely gonna get out. They are still fighting. They are not going out that easily. So I still feel that there is some fight in that Norwich team. And I mean, David De Gea having 2 games, United could keep a clean sheet. I generally don't think so, but I mean, he could make saves as well. So I'll just back David De Gea over 2 weeks because I generally see save potential there. So I mean, there is a chance that he can get you more points than Dubravka. I mean, there could be two goals conceded in both games, but I think he can still match Dubravka, if not outscore him, and I'll probably just go David De Gea over Dubravka. Got a green arrow to 2.5k. Your team is Dubravka, James, Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, Saka, Kulusevski, Son, Mount, Salah, Mateta. Your bench is Sa, Broha, Weghorst. Already on a -4, Son to Foden. For another -4 this week, or Kulu to Foden. I mean, I don't like Son. I mean, I'm not sure whether you've done. Yeah, Foden. So Son to Foden, I think I won't do that. Foden is there's a chance that Foden might get benched, and considering that, I mean, it depends on you actually, because I sold Kane, and a lot of people are saying there's a lot of talk in the community saying that you should have one of Kane and Son. I mean, of course, one of them can punish you if you. Again, depends. Right now, you're at 2.5k. If your aim is to go towards 1k, maybe 500, top 500, something like that, I am not sure. But if your aim is to play a little bit more aggressive, then I think I mean, I still won't do Son to Foden. I probably could do Kulu to Foden, but I think I'll just keep Son this week. I don't want to sell him because I think there are chances that he could do something against Brentford. So again, unless you're going very, very aggressive, because I'm still not very, very confident in terms of Foden getting 90 minutes, maybe even 70 to 80 minutes this week. I think he's going to be benched, and for that reason I won't take another hit for him this week. Foden, Mahrez on a wild card. I'll definitely go Foden. Foden is the better long-term pick. Mahrez might give you a week or two in terms of starts, but I think there are chances that there are chances that he's going to probably start in that Champions League game as well. And because of that, I mean, he could get rested in the league. So even on a short term, I'll probably look at someone like a Sterling. I know he's in a different price bracket, but I still feel Foden is the better, slightly safer long-term pick. And I think Man City with that double in 36 or 37, I think Foden could be a decent option. Using my wildcard this week, any must-have players? I mean, if you are on a wildcard, I think there are a couple of calls that you need to take. Whether to go for a double up in terms of Man City defense, Chelsea defense, or a Liverpool defense. I mean, that's one of the trickier calls to take. I think if you are on a wildcard, the must-haves probably would be Salah and Trent from Liverpool. I think those two are definitely must-have players. The other options are probably a Cancelo. I think Cancelo is also a must-have. So you at least have these three that you would want to have in your team. You would want to have one of the Chelsea mids, at least one Chelsea defender at least. I mean, if you want to go one of James or Alonso, I mean, depends on your budget. If you're going ultra cheap and slightly more risky, you go for Alonso. But I still feel going for James, if you have the money, going for James is absolutely worth it. So these are, I think, 5 or 6 different players that you build your team around. And then you kind of, fill different holes, whether depending on your strategy in terms of whether you have a bench boost, whether you have a free hit available, and then you kind of, make those different moves. I mean, one strategy is going very, very cheap in attack. So you go for three cheap strikers, or you go for a Kane, you still have a Kane, and then you slightly make some compromises in midfield. I mean, that's an absolutely decent strategy to go for. So I think, but these five or six players are, I think, definitely the core structure of your team. I think one Man City mid is also probably, if you are in a wild card, I think going for somebody like a Sterling could also be great in terms of short term gains. So I think these probably would be my must have players. Under 4.5 million defender, considering double game week 36, you can go for one of the Spurs players, Spurs defenders, but they don't have a great double in 36. Having said that, they still have decent fixtures in and around the game week 36 fixture. I mean, I think Emerson Royal is not sure how much I think he's more than that. Dyer is 4.6. I think that also won't cut it. I think if you want to go Spurs and in that price bracket, I think Davis is a decent option. He's 4.4, but I mean, he's probably not going to give you a lot of attacking returns. And can Spurs really keep a lot of clean sheets? I'm not too sure of that, to be very, very honest. I think if you, I mean, 4.5 is a tricky bracket to go for. You either, let's just quickly see, we'll just filter it out. So you definitely would want to probably, get one of the Arsenal defenders or keep Arsenal defenders, but you don't have anything else apart from White. I think White is definitely more in price now. He's 4.5. So, I mean, he's a decent hold if you already have him, but I probably won't get him because he definitely doesn't give you any attacking potential at all. Chelsea don't really have any cheaper options. I probably won't go Everton because Everton they have a bad defense. They have tough fixtures in 34 and 35. Leeds have a double. I won't go there. Leicester is again one option, but I mean it's very, very tricky in terms of which defender to go for from a Leicester team, right? Because last week I would have probably said that Justin looks like probably the only nailed option, but he's also not nailed, right? There could be Castagna in the mix. There could be Pereira in the mix. There could be Fofana as well. So, I mean, and over that, Leicester is not a very elite defense. I mean, they're still conceding chances. They're conceding goals. They probably won't keep a lot of clean sheets, though they have a really, really good 36 double. But that because of so many games coming up and because of that, European fixture as well, I don't think so. The double game week looks very, very appealing because you can't guarantee minutes for Leicester players and Leicester defenders. So, I mean, it's actually a tricky bracket to be in because you don't really have a lot of options. I'll probably still go Dyer. I think Davis. I mean, there could be some opportunity of maybe a clean sheet. Liverpool and Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal, they can keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. There's no guarantee that Arsenal's going to score. I think Liverpool's definitely going to score in that game. But I mean, not a lot of options there, to be very honest. I mean, Villa also has options, but I mean, Cash is definitely the better option from a double perspective because they're doubling in 36 and doubling in 37. So if I want to go Villa, I will definitely go for Cash, who's way more expensive. So happy I put Captain Salah. I mean, yeah, Salah was a good captaincy shout last week. I mean, a lot of people ignored him, but I'm glad you benefited out of him. This week as well, I mean, he's still a good captaincy option. So let's see. Would you rather have Son or Sterling for the next two game weeks? Will sell in 36 and distribute funds for a bench boost. I think I'll have Sterling, more upside. He's more. I can't say he's more attacking, but he just looks like he's gonna get minutes. Yes, Son is probably a nailed starter in that Tottenham side, but I just feel. I mean, if you look at the next 2 weeks, Brentford, Leicester, 34, 35. Not the easiest set of games, but when you look at Man City, I mean, Watford and Leeds, I mean, those are two games that can. I mean, the Leeds game could be anything, right? Even Watford, they can easily score maybe 4 or 5 goals against Watford. So I still feel there is more upside with Sterling. There's a high potential that he can probably get a brace. I don't think so. He's going to be on penalties. So let's take the penalties out of the locker because first, he's probably very bad at it. Secondly, there are a lot of other better options for Man City that can take penalties. I just feel Sterling plays for a much premium, much better attacking team, much better team in general. I think he's still a better option. I would still go Sterling if I have to. I mean, if you have to play very, very safe, if you want to just protect your rank, then Son. But in any other case, I'll go Sterling. Chalobah out for Werner. I mean, yeah, you take out Chalobah, but you have to still take in a defender, get in a defender. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely have an attacker over a Chelsea defender. I mean, having James is still fine, but I would still prefer a Chelsea midfielder or maybe a Werner over a Chalobah, for example. I don't think so. Chalobah is gonna get majority minutes. You helped me by telling me to captain Saka. Also a good shout. I mean, I personally didn't want him to score. I didn't want him to do well. I have not had Saka over such a long period of time, and he's been scoring so many points. And I have a stupid Martinelli in my team who's absolutely done shit. And I just again, I'm really happy for you that Saka worked out for you, but he's just been too bad for my my chances of finishing in the top 10K. But I'm glad it worked out for you. Would you rather have someone? I think I've answered this one. What chair do you have? I mean, I probably forgot the name because I bought it a long time ago. But it's a gaming chair. And yeah, it took a lot of time to assemble. I'll be honest, when I actually bought it. I mean, it took a really really long time for me and my wife to assemble this. But yeah, I mean, uh, I'm a Man United fan, of course. I like the color red, and I thought that it'll look cool with the whole setup because there's a lot of red. I'll probably share a picture sometime of the whole setup. So there's a lot of red when you talk about lights, RGB lights, and the setup in general. It has a lot of red. Is Jota a good captain differential over Salah? I mean, he's a good captain different. I mean, he's a good differential pick over Salah. I still feel he won't. I have a feeling that he's gonna start against Everton this week. But I mean, you can't really compare Salah to Jota at the moment. Salah is in a different league. His numbers are elite. He's definitely gonna start unless he's carrying a knock or Klopp just decides to rest him. But I just feel I don't think so. If I'm looking at a differential captain, I'll probably look at a Mount over a Salah because of the two fixtures. But yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not very high on Jota as a differential captain. Should I keep Kane or get rid of him because there's good fixtures ahead? I mean, depends on your strategy. I mean, I am okay taking a bit of a risk because I want to target that top 10K. So I am probably taking that chance and going without Kane. I don't think so. I can go without Salah, so that's why I didn't remove him. For let's say a Man City player or somebody like that. But it totally depends on you. If you want to play safe, you keep Kane. If you are because he has decent fixtures. I mean, there is. I have removed Kane. Doesn't mean that Kane is a bad option. To be very honest, I mean he can still score goals. He can still do well. And if you are playing safe, keep Kane. If you are chasing rank, going a bit differential, then probably sell him. And you have two directions to go. Either you go to a Werner, or you go very very cheap to a Mateta and Ketia, Pookie sort of a range, and then you just distribute your funds elsewhere. Maybe improve your defense or improve your midfield, but it depends on you in terms of how you play the game. Alonso plus Kulu or Royale plus Havertz. I think I don't like Emerson Royale, to be very honest. He's not a. I mean, he's a defender for sure, but he definitely cannot attack. He doesn't have attacking threat. He puts in 1,000 crosses, out of which probably one would be the right cross. I like Havertz though. I mean, overall, I still probably would go Royal plus Havertz because I think that Havertz has better potential than Alonso. And Kulusevski is a safe 5 to 6 pointer, right? Royal maybe keeping a clean sheet can also give you those points, but I think Havertz is definitely a lot better than Alonso. So I'll probably go Royal plus Havertz. Foden out for Coutinho. Foden out for Coutinho. I won't take out Foden right now. I mean, if you have Foden, you play him. Unless you don't have a Chelsea mid. I think not a lot of people would think of making that switch, but it's not that bad, to be very honest. I mean, trust me, it's not bad if you get a Foden out this week because he probably won't start. And if you don't have a Chelsea mid, in general, I won't take him out. I'll just take the risk, take the chance, and play him and keep him all for maybe the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, if that's the question. But yeah, I won't take him out for anyone apart from a Chelsea mid. Sanchez a better goalkeeper this week. Arsenal lately have looked really, really bad, and Brighton are slowly coming back to their old form. Southampton are really struggling to score goals. Southampton are struggling to score goals because they're probably not playing Adams. I yeah. From the Chelsea game, I think it's been all downhill. Uh, Last three games have been really tough. I think that battering against Chelsea took a toll on them, and that defeat against Arsenal as well. I just feel. I think Southampton. Sorry, I think they can score in this game. I know it's a home, it's an away game for Southampton, but I just feel, Ramsdale has a potential to give you 8-9 points if Arsenal keep a clean sheet. Yes, I know they've not been doing well, so the argument is valid, but I just feel he's probably still playing for a better defense. Yes, Brighton have clawed back a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but I still feel Southampton can score. So I probably just I'll keep Ramsdale. I think I'm not even playing White, and I'll probably still want to play one of them, if not both. So I'll probably just keep Ramsdale. Schmeichel, you have your team here. Schmeichel, Laporte, Cancelo, Trent, James, Alonso, Salah, Mount, Son, Foden, Mateta as your forward. Subs, you have Foster, Weghorst, Broha, Gordon. I think a lot of players have a similar team on a wildcard right now. Any changes you would suggest? I would probably want to go for Sterling instead of Foden, but I understand that it might be a bit tricky because you're going for a double up in terms of the Man City defense, which still looks really, really good. Uh, Trent, James, Alonso, I think all are good picks. I probably, again, that's just my hunch, but I'm okay going for just James and not Alonso, and probably going for a second Man City, Chelsea attacker, or maybe a Sterling, if you can do that, if the funds allow that. Bad at math, but please make that calculation separately. If not possible, I think this is a decent spot to go for. I won't really suggest a lot of other changes. Broha to Nketiah if you have some money, or I think Nketiah is cheaper. I'm not too sure. They might be around the same price. Not too sure. Just check that as well. But Nketiah could be a decent punt. Even Weghorst, right? I don't really trust Weghorst a lot. Weghorst could be pooky, to be honest. Rest is okay. I would play. You have a cheaper fifth midfielder. The other play is to probably upgrade that to a different player by taking out money out of Weghorst. But I think rest looks fine. Best defenders for 5.2 million or under. I'm going to bench boost in 36. 5.2 and under, I think cash is a really good option. I think Villa is going to improve. Their fixtures are definitely improving. I know the last few weeks have been really tough, but the fixtures were also tricky. The only worry for me is that Villa are a beach team, or a lot of people in fantasy call teams as beach teams, which means that they don't really have a lot to play for, right? They can't get relegated, and they can't finish, in a European spot. So they probably would see a lot of rotation. They might not have the right motivation to do really well, or to to do well in general. So there are chances that Villa could fall into that trap. But if you are targeting that 5.2 price bracket, I think cash is a really, really good option. He has a double, so you'll at least get more fixtures out of him. In fact, you'll get 4 fixtures in those 2 game weeks. Of course, for bench boost 36 also it helps, because Liverpool game is going to be tricky, but that's probably appearance points. Liverpool still concede chances. I've said this a lot of times. Liverpool still have the tendency to concede, a couple of big chances, maybe a single big chance in a game. It's just how clinical the other teams' attack and other teams' forwards are, right, to finish those chances. So Liverpool will definitely give chances. It's at home. It's going to be an away game for Liverpool. I think they're still okay. Still a decent away side. Burnley also, I think, is a decent fixture. So I think he's definitely one to look out for. But other than that, again, Chelsea, I would have loved the Chelsea option because of the double, but because it's so close to the FA Cup games, and of course the options are not very cheap, so I can't go there. Everton again, I definitely want a Leicester defender, but just not sure which one to go for, and it's actually quite tricky. Let's just quickly see. I understand that Leicester could be an option, but again, I probably would go for Schmeichel, because Schmeichel is more likely to start more games than their defenders, to be honest. There could be any rotation, any number of rotation there. go for the cheaper player, maybe go for Amati, but he didn't start against Everton, so that could be a risk. I mean, but yeah, no, 5.2, I'll definitely go cash. Should I go for Bruno plus Tierney out? I'm assuming, and then Mount plus James or Alonso. I'll go James for sure if I have the money, and if the money is okay. You have Rudiger as well. Plans to sub him next week if he's still not fit for a Liverpool defender. I mean, yeah, you can do that. Double Wolves defense versus double Wolves defense versus Burnley, or one Wolves defender and Iheanacho. Mm, I mean, Wolves can keep a clean sheet against Burnley. Depends on which defenders you have. Are they playing defenders? I'm not too sure. But let's assume they're playing defenders. So double playing Wolves defense versus Burnley or Wolves. I mean, Iheanacho again can't really be sure about his minutes as well. Daka could come in. He might get rested. I'll probably just play the double Wolves defense. I also have the triple captainship. When should I play it? I mean, 36 Salah is looking good. 36 on a Man City player could also be an option. If I think they're gonna get a double in 36 as well, and I think that could be a decent option to go for. So maybe a Kevin De Bruyne, maybe a Sterling. I probably won't put it on Foden, but I think KDB and Sterling are really really explosive options. So those could be different, maybe differential options as well. Having a triple captain at this stage itself is going to be very differential. So I think you're in a good spot there. On a wild card, I think, did I answer this question? Not sure. We'll look at it again. uh, on a wild card, you have goalkeeper Schmeichel, Foster, defensive strength Van Dijk, Cancelo, Alonso, Cash, Salah, Havertz, Mount, Coutinho, Dewsbury Hall. Forwards, you have Watkins, Pookie, Joao Pedro. I mean, I probably, I think I can go for a Man City double up rather than a Liverpool double up. If I'm going for a Liverpool double up, I would want to have a Trent and a Robertson, and I'm not sure whether that's possible considering the funds that you have. And I think in that money you can definitely get in a Laporte. Probably even save some money. Maybe upgrade, Joao Pedro to a different striker. Maybe upgrade Dewsbury Hall. I'm not sure how much money we'll probably have. I think it's probably going to be point 6, point 7, something around that. Let's just see. Van Dijk is 6 point something, 6.8, and Laporte is I think 5.8, if I'm not wrong. 5.9. So you have point 0.9, I think, if my maths is correct. Dewsbury Hall, 5 point something. You won't really get a lot of midfielders. So I mean, there's no upgrade possibility there. But I just feel, I mean, Liverpool can keep clean sheets, but as I said, they still give chances, and I think Man City has slightly better fixtures. So I'll probably go Laporte instead of Van Dijk. Also gives me a chance to probably upgrade a Coutinho to a Foden later on. I can do that as well if I need to. Otherwise, you have Watkins downgraded to somebody else. I mean, there are options. I think another thing that you can probably do is have James instead. And yeah, I mean, that probably would be a better split if you can do that. Laporte instead of Trent and Alonso instead of James. James instead of Alonso. Sorry, I think that's probably a better bet. Should I use the free hit or bench boost this week? I mean, it depends on your bench or depends on your current team. There's merit in going for free hit in this week because you can load up on players from Chelsea. You can have 3 Chelsea, you can have 3 Man City, and you can have 3 Liverpool. So that's going to be a differential in itself, because I don't think so. A lot of people would be on a Sterling, would be on a KDB, would be on a double up in defense of Man City plus a Sterling. I think that also is a great option. I think there are different combinations that you can go for, and I think it has its merits. It just depends on your current team and what you have as a structure. Whether you have a decent bench boost this week, I mean, depends on who do you have on your bench, or your bench boost is probably going to be better for 36 or 37, considering, or keeping in mind what transfers you're making. So totally depends on that. Can't really answer this without looking at your team. Would you start Kraft or Watkins? I mean, I can start Watkins against a Leicester defense. Leicester's not been that strong. I think. Yeah, I think I'll probably just start the attacker and then take the chance. I think Norwich can definitely score in this game against Newcastle. Newcastle's defense has been decent, but I think mm, Pookie, a certain team of Pookie can definitely score. Who to start? Broha versus Weghorst versus Wood. I mean, I don't like any of the options to be very honest. But if I have to start one, I'll probably start. Mm, I'll probably start Wood against Norwich. Yeah. Captain Havertz or Mount. Mount is slightly safer if you're chasing than Havertz. Havertz could get more minutes than Mount this week, but I generally feel both of them are going to get maybe not equal minutes, but they're going to get decent amount of minutes. So risky is Havertz. More likely to get points is probably Mount because he's playing in a much more central role right now. If Tuchel continues with that 3-4-1-2 formation, I think Mount has a better chance of getting more returns because he's going to play a lot more centrally. He will get more creativity, or he'll at least get more options for an assist, or more chances for an assist or even a goal. And we've seen that he can haul big, right? A big argument in not in favor of Mount was that he's a very safe player and he gives you those 6-7 points more weeks than not, right? But this season we've seen that he can go on these hauls where he's getting you 19-20 points, and I mean this could be another week of that. So I think depends on you. If you're chasing, then you probably go Havertz. If you want to go safe, you go Mount. Captain Havertz, Mount or Salah, and why? If you're protecting rank, whatever rank you have, might be 100k, might be 10k, might be 1k, or might be 1 million. But if you're trying to protect your rank, I think Salah is the best option to go for. If you are chasing, but if you still don't want to take a huge risk because of how Chelsea have been playing, because of maybe Havertz, again, there's a chance that even Havertz can get rested, but I don't think so that's gonna happen. But if you're playing safe, then definitely play safest or just trying to protect rank, you go Salah. If you are looking to chase, but you probably don't want to take a huge risk, then you go Mount because I think he's likely to get a decent amount of points this week. He can even outscore Havertz. He's more consistent, and I think Chelsea need to cement that third spot, so they will definitely play Mount. I think in terms of importance of players, I think Mount is a much more important player than Havertz right now. Havertz could get rotated with somebody like a Ziyech, for example, maybe a Pulisic, for example, maybe even a Lukaku, for example. But you don't really have a lot of options in the position where Mount plays, right? So I think safest Salah, safer Mount, and absolutely crazy, or maybe maybe a bit risky if you are doing catch up. I think it's Havertz. Thoughts on Broha to Pookie and Thiago Silva to Laporte? I like it. Even if it's for a hit, I don't mind. Pookie and Laporte, I think, much better options from Broha and Thiago Silva. Is a Martin nailed? I don't think so. He missed the last game against Everton. I don't think so. He's nailed. I don't think so. Any Leicester option is nailed at the moment. Their priority is definitely Europe. There's going to be rotation in the Premier League. They don't really have anything to play for in the Premier League. So he might just rotate a hell lot, and Amati could get minutes, but can't say that with surety at all. Let's do the Mount move now just to avoid any more like the midweek. I mean, let's see if we have any news. I just hope we get something. So 3:30 is the deadline. Still an hour and 10 minutes to go. Let's see. Don't think so there are any leaks or nothing yet in terms of Martinelli getting benched. Could happen. I mean, high possibility of that happening, but it's just Man United, right? I mean, Man United have been so bad, and they've been playing. I mean, their play has been really bad. I know that probably Saka is more likely to get points. He's definitely playing a lot better than what Martinelli is playing. He's the man in form, and even against Chelsea, he did really well. He got the penalty as well. I don't think so. Probably I actually thought that Martinelli will be getting that penalty, but because of again what happened to Saka in the Euros, I think it was redemption at the end of it. Son and Gordon to Mount and Havertz. To Mount and Havertz. Also thoughts on Alonso. I mean, if you are chasing, it's a really, really good move. If you are playing safe, I probably won't do Son out. I mean, I know that the intention here is to get a Chelsea mid, but I personally like it a lot. Thoughts on Alonso? I just feel, I mean, if Chelsea play a back four, that is where my concern or worry is, because he cannot play in a back four. His role is very well suited to to a proper wing back, and I don't think so he can play as a full back at all in that four. So if that happens, I think he can even get benched. And we know that he cannot defend, right? So I just feel, yes, there is attacking upside, but again, unless you're really chasing rank, and if you're really trying to go all out there by not going for, let's say, a James Mount, and you're going for picks like a Werner, like a Havertz, or even an Alonso, for example, I think in that case it's fine. But I just feel James is a lot better. Harvey Barnes sits on my bench following those rumors, but who should come in the starting lineup to replace him? Broha, Justin. Don't like both. Yes, I still feel Barnes. I think he's definitely going to get rested. I mean, Justin against a Villa defense could be okay. Broha against Brighton could be tricky. So I'll probably play Justin, but I'm not sure about his minutes at all. At least with Broha, you might get more minutes. It's actually quite tricky. I mean, I don't want to play either of them, but if I possibly have an option, I'll just go Justin. I mean, he was rested in the last game. He could come back in the lineup again, and I mean, he could do okay. So I'll probably play Justin. Rudiger and Barnes to James and Mount, I'll do it. Even for a hit, I'll definitely do it. What's your thought? What are your thoughts on Doherty to Amarty to free up funds and prepare for? I mean, if it's a free transfer or if it's a luxury transfer, it's actually nice. But whether he's gonna start in 36, maybe. Whether he's starting both games, can't say. I mean, I doubt that there's anyone who can guarantee you that Amati is gonna start both games in Game Week 36. But yeah, I mean, it really frees up a lot of funds for you, and you can, depending on your other players on the bench, I think it could be a decent call. Savio, you're wildcarding Schmeichel, Foster, Trent, Robertson, Alonso, Cancelo, Laporte, Salah, Havertz, Mount, Foden, Gordon, Watkins, Pookie, and Ketia point to in the bank. Looks like a decent team. Watkins gives you that Villa cover. Salah, of course, is safe. Havertz, Mount, and Foden, a great differential in itself. Foden could get benched this week, so that's probably something to look out for. I think other than that, looks pretty decent. You have a double up in terms of your Liverpool defense, in terms of your Man City defense as well. So I think that's pretty decent. Would have loved to have James over Alonso, but I think the budget that you have won't allow for that. So I mean, it's fine. Leave Wood this game week or go for Pookie? So it's Wood against Norwich or Pookie against Newcastle. Wood is definitely playing a weaker defense. So I mean, I want to go for Pookie because he's the man in form. So I'll probably just play him ahead of Wood. Wood hasn't really done anything at all, to be very frank. Right? So I'll probably just play Pookie. Start Che Adams or Ramsey. I mean, don't like the Southampton players for this week, so I'll probably start Ramsey. I mean, even Ramsey, in terms of what he does for Villa and the kind of returns that he can get, yes, there'll be one odd game where you probably can get a 10-12 pointer, but will this be that game? Could be, because Leicester is pretty average in terms of defense. Their defensive numbers are quite bad, so could be that. But yeah, I mean, both options, I'll still probably start Ramsey. Martinelli, Madison out for Mount. Which one's better to offload? I think Martinelli is better to offload. You don't have a good bench to cover the 11. Madison could still play a part. I think he could still play minutes, and he's probably the best player of Leicester right now. He can get you a goal. He can get you assists as well. Minutes are an issue for both, I'll be honest. But Madison just looks like a more involved player out of the two, right? Because Arsenal have Saka. Arsenal have the likes of Odegaard, Smith Rowe. Now Nketiah, maybe when Lacazette was playing, he had assist potential as well. I just feel there are a lot of options for Arsenal in terms of attack, and Martinelli is not getting getting those chances. And I think the attacking returns are going to be quite shared. Madison, on the other hand, I think he's spearheading the Leicester attack, and I think he's still a better option. I think he's still a hold, to be honest. Martinelli or Elanga, I mean, I would not want to go anywhere near a United player at all. So probably Martinelli, but I'll avoid both or I'll offload both if possible. For this week, I'll probably play Martinelli. Is Gaming 36 the best game week to bench boost? Depends on your bench, which you'll be boosting. I mean, I don't know. Totally depends on your team. I currently have. So I will look at my bench. I have White, Adams, and Weghorst on my bench for this week. And all the options aren't really that great, right? I mean, Adams, yes, he has a double. No, he doesn't have a double. So he has Brentford in 36. Weghorst also doesn't have a double. Villa in 36, not great at all. So I'll probably play, let's say if I play White in the 11, and I'll probably bench Shar. Shar is Man City. So my bench boost will be Shar, Adams, and Weghorst, which is absolutely horrendous. I don't know what I'll be doing, but yeah. So just to give you kind of an insight in terms of whether that sort of a bench is good for a bench boost, maybe not. But yeah, if you have a Leicester player, maybe if you have Villa players, I mean, those are really good bench boost options. Start Ramsey, Weghorst, or Barnes. I think Barnes is gonna get benched. Weghorst cannot score FPL points in general. He cannot score enough goals. I'll probably start Ramsey, maybe chasing that odd haul, but yeah. Should I start Saka, Ramsey? Definitely Saka. If Saka is the option, I won't even think of starting Ramsey at all. Saka against that United defense, I don't think so. He's gonna play, in defense this week. Saka, I think he plays in attack as a proper winger, and I think he can do really well. On a wildcard with bench boost 36, would you prefer Foden, Watkins, Richarlison, or Son, Dennis, and Nketiah? Let's see. So Everton has Leicester and Watford. City could have a double. Watkins is decent. I don't like Tottenham's double, but there is no denying that fact that Son can still get an attacking return. I mean, Watford have Palace and Everton. Palace away. I think that's going to be a tricky game. And Everton home, I think both are tricky games. Even Everton at home is a decent team. They don't really concede a lot of goals at home. So, I mean, I personally like the first option a lot. If Man City get a double in 36, I think the first option is miles ahead of the second option. Even if they don't, I still like Foden, Watkins, and Richarlison over Son, Dennis, and Nketiah. I think the first combination can definitely score the Son combination. Captain Salah, Reece James, Salah safest. Reece James a bit risky. A lot of people are saying that he's not going to play both games. I still feel he plays both games. Now, whether he's going to play as a right centre back or a right wing back is the question. Considering what we saw against Arsenal, I don't think so. He's gonna start as a right centre back. Having said that, that anyways weakens the Chelsea defense. So I'm not very sure of clean sheets there, and I'll probably just captain Salah. If you're chasing, I mean, yeah, if you're chasing, then Reece James. I would like to do the chasing bit in some other places. Maybe get differentials like a Sterling. Maybe get differentials like another Man City mid. Maybe double up on Havertz and Mount. Maybe get Alonso there. I mean, there are different ways of probably chasing there. Captaincy, I still feel. I know the temptation to go for a Reece James, but yeah, I personally won't do it. But I don't mind, or I would not say that it's not bad, especially when you're chasing. Any plans to get Trent later? Also, which game weeks I plan to free hit? I don't think so. I'm gonna get Trent at all now. I think I'm gonna end the season with Robertson. In terms of my defense, I have Cancelo, Robertson, James. Probably gonna keep them all till the end. I mean, White and Shar are problems, right? I have a lot of money invested in players that I don't want, and a wild card would have really helped. Like I have players like Adams and Weghorst. I don't think so. They are even worth their own price. So I need to get that money out as well. And I might. I mean, we're getting to a Trent even from a Shar or a White would be difficult. So I probably will continue without Trent. If depending on when Man City get a double, I'll probably get double City. I'll probably get Laporte. Uh, but yeah, I think Trent is gonna be tricky. Which game weeks am I planning to free hit? Right now the options open between both 36 and 37. I think depending on which game week Man City get a double, I'm thinking it's gonna most likely be 36. But and 37, by the way, guys, 37 is not a blank for Liverpool. I know it's showing as a blank for Liverpool, but Liverpool have that Southampton game which is yet to be scheduled, and that the only spot available is that game week 37 spot. So Liverpool are definitely not going to have a blank game week. So don't worry about it, because I've got a lot of questions this week asking people when people are asking me that Liverpool are blanking in game week 37. So what do we do about them? They're not blanking. The only team is probably going to blank in 37 is probably going to be United. So I think you're okay there. I mean, depends. Free hit could be 36, could be 37. Depends on the Man City double. Might just do it in 36. Load up on City players. Load up on maybe even Chelsea players. Might not load up on Chelsea players, but might have one or two. Maybe a keeper. But yeah, 37 doubles are not that great, to be very honest. I mean, you have Palace who are doubling. You have Everton who are doubling. Then you have Villa who are doubling. I think it looks more. It looks a lot better for a bench boost rather than a free hit, to be very honest. I just don't see a lot of upside there. I mean, you can attack. You can really build a good team in game week 36 by free hitting in 36. And if you have a decent squad for 37, I think you should be okay. Start two from Wood, Weghorst, Broha, and Johnny. I'll probably start Wood and Johnny out of the two. Don't like Broha and Weghorst, both options. You have a wildcard, free hit, and bench boost. When is the best time to use them? Wildcard this week, bench boost in 37, free hit in 36. I think that should be good. Son and Connect to Sterling and Havertz. I will do it. Good moves. Who to bench, Watkins or Cash? Tricky call. I mean, I definitely like to play the attacker in most games, but Cash is also quite attacking. Leicester's defense has not been that great. Uh, Clean sheet potential, not too sure. I I don't think so. I don't think so. There'll be a clean sheet for any team in this game. I think it's gonna be probably a 2-1, 1-1 sort of game. I think both teams are gonna score. Uh, I think I'll just go Watkins. I know it's. I mean, both options are not that safe. I think predicting points for both is quite tricky, but I'll probably just go Watkins. How much I've read, Martinelli is on the bench, and Tomiyasu most likely to return in the playing 11 either as a right centre back or a right back or a right wing back. If you have any share, do share any links or anything, no? If you have, so that we can also, or probably I can also quickly go through them. Because Tomiyasu could, yeah, I'm also reading that Tomiyasu could return. Arsenal, Mikel Arteta says that Tomiyasu could be available for today's match now against Man United. But yeah, not reading anything regarding Martinelli. I mean, the issue is that Rafinha is playing, Palace at home. Palace at home are a good, strong side. I think they'll be compact. They'll be defensively good. And I mean, Rafinha in terms of minutes is definitely gonna play more minutes than Martinelli. But I mean, it's just that how bad are United, right? Even if Martinelli comes off the bench, what's to say that he cannot score against his almost given up, lost hope Man United team? I mean, there are chances there. Captain Salah, Reece James. I think I've answered this. Chasing Reece James, safer Salah. Alonso or James for sure. Captain Salah, Havertz, Mount, James, Trent. Salah safest, then Mount, then Havertz, then James, then Trent. I think that'll be the order. Captain Salah or Mount? Again, safer Salah chasing Mount. Laporte or Van Dijk? I prefer Laporte. Is Rudiger out for game week 34? I think so. He's definitely out for the first game. Looks like that he's going to be out for the second game as well. Could be back in game week 35, but because Chelsea have so many games now, I don't think so he'll be rushed. And there is the FA Cup final as well. I think Tuchel will definitely want him to be fit for that FA Cup final. So I don't think so he's going to rush getting in Rudiger. One of a Kane, I like it. I've done the same. I think it's a good move. Can you please do a free hit draft? I did one on my Instagram channel. It's Insanely Football. That's the handle. So if you want, you can just quickly go there and check it out. Might not be able to do that here, but I probably can actually read it out very very quickly. Let me just. But yeah, for a proper explanation, I think you can probably just check out the post. I think it's very well detailed. But a free hit draft that I did. Yeah, so I think if I'm doing a free hit, I'll probably have double City. I'll try to have Sterling. Depending on the risk I can take, I can either go for Salah or maybe, if you're not able to afford Salah, you can probably go for a Sterling. I'll definitely go either, three Chelsea attackers and just, let go of the defense, or go for Mount. I'll definitely go for Mount or Havertz or three Chelsea attackers. In case if you want to go a bit safer, I think you probably go James plus Mount plus Havertz. I think that's also a very good combination to go for. Werner could share minutes, but I think especially because Havertz did get a rest last week against Arsenal and he was benched. Came off the bench, played a few minutes, but I think that could be a decent option to go for. In general, I think there are merits of playing probably back. You can probably play back four with either, a James, a Trent, and probably two City. And then you can accordingly, depending on how much risk you want to take, you can either go for Salah. You can have a Salah and a Sterling combination as well. I think that looks really really good. Uh, Other than that, just a second. Yeah, so in my draft, I had Salah. I think in the earlier one that I had Foden. I don't think so he's gonna start. Saka is a really good option still against United. Mount plus Havertz is also good. You can avoid Son if you want. I mean, on a free hit, you can actually avoid Son and chase the upside. You don't really have to have three strikers. I mean, go for two you know, cheap forward players, and then probably just go for either Kane or one. I think those are the best two options to go for this week. Barnes to Mount and Rudiger to James. Barnes to Mount looks really good. Rudiger to James, I'll do that. Or Barnes to Havertz and Rudiger to Laporte. I think I'll go Mount and Rudiger. I think that's a better combination. Havertz to Laporte. I mean, So it's basically Mount plus Rudiger or Havertz plus Laporte. I think I'll go Mount and Rudiger. Mount and James, sorry. I was reading Rudiger again and again. It's Mount plus James or Havertz plus Laporte. I think I'll go Mount plus James. Should I wildcard in 35 and bench boost in 36? I mean, you can wildcard in 35. It's just a bit tricky to make a good bench boost team for 36. I mean, what players would you have, right? Because 36 we have Arsenal doubling. Might still want Saka, maybe not any other players from Arsenal. Chelsea have a double, but might not be a double game week for Chelsea. Tottenham have a tricky double. Leicester again, there will be rotation in Leicester as well. So plus then you have the likes of Norwich, Watford. So you can have a Pookie, for example. You can even have somebody like a Dennis, for example. I think both fixtures are going to be a bit tricky, but I think that's still an option to go for. Even Everton, right? You can probably have a cheaper Gordon, and I mean, yeah, maybe a Richarlison as well. Richarlison's probably going to cost you a bit more, but I think you definitely can. I mean, there's no 34 definitely gives you an advantage that you probably won't have to take hits. A lot of people I have taken a -8. A lot of people are taking hits to get players this week, especially Chelsea players. So if you are set in that regard, I don't think so. You need to wildcard in this week. I mean, if you really want to go for very heavy in terms of Chelsea plus, let's say, a Sterling, for example, then I'm sure you might have to take at least a -4, maybe even a -8, maybe -12s. So rather than taking that, you can avoid that and wildcard straight away. But if you're set in that regard, wildcard in 35, bench boost in 36, pretty decent. Ishar expected to start? Looks like it. I think he will start this game. Unless I've missed out on something. I think he looks like that he's gonna start. Three questions. Why not Havertz over Salah for captain, Son or Sterling this week, and whether to start Ramsey or Weghorst. Start with the easier one. I'll definitely start Ramsey over Weghorst. Son or Sterling this week. Like Sterling a lot. If you are chasing, if going safe, so the argument is that, right? Are you chasing or are you playing safe? If you're playing safe, you won't captain Havertz. If you're playing safe, you won't transfer in Sterling. If you're playing safe, you probably will have Weghorst in your team, right? Weghorst will probably have slightly higher ownership, but I think between Ramsey and Weghorst, I mean, Ramsey is still the better option to go for. I don't think so. I'll still go for Weghorst at all. But yeah, the reason I'm not going for Havertz captain, I think it could be a bit risky. Salah is still safer. I think Salah. I captained Salah last week as well because I understood the potential of United, messing up really bad, and they did. Right, being a United fan, sad to say that just happened. This week as well, it's a derby game. Yes, Everton can still score because it's a derby game, but Salah against Everton has a really good record. I don't think so he's gonna get rested. He might come off at 60, 70 minutes if Liverpool are dominating the game. But I think Salah in a derby game against Everton, even if it's a single fixture at home, it's hard to argue against that, right? Yes, West Ham and Man United have been bad defenses, and Havertz could also get maybe potential 15, 20 points, maybe 25 points, something like that. But I personally, I'm okay probably having them as players because having them as players could still, be differential in itself. Not everybody's going to go for, I think there's going to be a huge point swing between a Mount and a Havertz. And if you captain that, of course, and if you captain that particular player and that particular player really performs well, then the point swing is going to be massive in your favor. But I just feel that for me there are other ways to probably do upside chasing, like maybe go for a Werner. I think that could be a decent call. So yeah, it could depends risk versus safe in terms of how you want to play, right? So that's why I have not done these particular moves. But I really like Sterling. If you're not playing safe or if you're chasing, if you're looking for a differential, I think Sterling over Son is a good option. Is it worth doing Kane and Kilman to Werner and Trent and captain Werner for a -4? I still probably would want to captain maybe a Mount or a Havertz ahead of a Werner. Werner has a high chance that he probably plays about 120, 130 minutes over the two games. Just because you're taking a -4 doesn't necessarily mean that you have to captain that player to gain advantage. I mean, yes, it works. It could work, but not necessarily. I mean, Werner in itself is going to be differential. I don't think so. A lot of people are going to go. I mean, there are a lot of transfers for Werner. The last I checked in the FPL site, probably about 2 to 3 lakh. Yeah, 2.5 lakhs. 250,000 250,000 transfers for Werner. So I think a lot of people are transferring him. His ownership is still around 5%. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to captain him at all. The transfers are worth doing. I mean, Kane and Kilman to Werner and Trent, I think the good moves. What do you think about Barnes to Mount, Adams to Pookie, and Rudiger to Alonso or Silva for a -4? Barnes to Mount, good. Adams to Pookie, another good option. Rudiger to Alonso, I think I'll do it for a -4, definitely. There's a lot of upside there, right? You have Mount, who can go explosive. You have Pookie, who can still score against Newcastle. Newcastle's defense has been good, but Pookie has been in form. Norwich, I don't think they're going to go out just like that. They're going to give a fight. And I think Pookie's a good option. And Alonso, I mean, I would have preferred James, but I think money would be an issue here. So, having said that, Alonso could still go explosive, right? If Chelsea play a back four, then Alonso is trouble. But in this system, I think Alonso could still do well. Start Weghorst or ESR, Smith Rowe for sure. Who do you support in the league? The quadruple or the City double? I mean, oh man. I mean, I hate myself for saying this. I ideally would not want both. Absolutely. I mean, I know there's a possibility of that happening, but there's not a possibility of that happening. But I think if I really have to go for something, I'll go for a City double, even if they are noisy neighbors and they are, I mean, there's a lot of history with Man City as well, but I still prefer a City double over that quadruple for Liverpool because that's just gonna hurt too much. I mean, no, I mean, can't see that happening. I mean, no, I don't even want to think or go there. It's just not happening. Uh, James Ward-Prowse to Mount looks okay. Saka to Havertz, Weghorst to Gelhardt, worth a -8. By the way, these would be helpful for coming game weeks too. I mean, if it helps the coming game weeks, depending on howsoever you want to use these players. I know Gelhardt. Maybe if you have a Gelhardt, you're not having a bench boost, and you're probably not bench boosting in 36 or 37. I think that would be your thought process. Ward-Prowse to Mount a massive upgrade. Saka to Havertz. I think if you're chasing, decent. I mean, again, if you're playing safe, then I would keep Saka because Saka still has the potential to haul. But if you're chasing, then go for the upside with Havertz. Even if it's for a -8, it'll help you in the future. That's an added bonus. But I think chasing, it's absolutely fine. Playing safe, I won't transfer out Saka. Will James play both games? Looks like it. I think he's fit. I mean, there's a possibility that he can play one game at right centre back and probably one game at right wing back. Chelsea don't have a lot of options. I mean, Chelsea have options, but they don't have really great options, to be very honest. The injury to Rudiger is definitely going to hurt. Christensen's probably also going to be out. So, I mean, there could be a combination of Thiago Silva, Aspilicueta, or Sar. Um, there could be a combination of Thiago Silva, James, and Sar. I mean that also could be an option. I don't like Aspilicueta as a centre back or at all in the Chelsea team. I mean there are better options. Of course, right now with the injury to Rudiger, it becomes a bit tricky. But I think I think James will start both games. I think Chelsea need to cement that third spot, right? And it's still some way to go towards or go for the FA Cup final. And I think Chelsea would want. I mean, there are chances that James could come off earlier, but I think these two are important games for them, and I think he'll start. You have two free hits, one wildcard, and bench boosts available. How should I plan these? You have 1969 points. I think I'll wildcard. Hmm. Definitely, definitely one free hit in 36. I'll probably set up my team for a wild card in 34. Let's assume that we're wildcarding in 34. One free hit will be in 36. The other free hit cannot be in 37 and 35. Or I think that the other option is a better option. You probably play a free hit this week. You maximize your potential with Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea players. You wildcard in 35. Then you free hit again in 36. You set up your team for a 37 bench boost in your 35 wildcard, having those players from Villa, Everton, and teams who have a decent double. And I think, yeah, I mean, that will be a better option because you cannot use two free hits one after the other. I mean, let's say you use a free hit in 36, you cannot use one in 35 or 37. So I think using one now this week, then wildcard next week, then the free hit, then bench boost. I think that's a lot of chips available, man. I'm a little jealous in terms of having so much available, but yeah. Expected Rudiger return date, definitely out for this game week. This game against, I'll correct myself there. Definitely out for this game against West Ham. Looks that he will miss the United fixture as well. Could return for game week 35. I just feel because of the FA Cup final, he's probably just not gonna get him straight back. I think he's probably gonna ease him back, and especially if Chelsea are comfortable in third. I don't think so. He will be rushed back. I think with the FA Cup finals in play, I think he's definitely he definitely wants Rudiger to play in that FA Cup final. Otherwise, there's no chance that they can compete at a defensive level. I mean, Chelsea are really bad when Rudiger's not playing. Tony or Weghorst, I'll probably go Tony. He can still score against. I mean, Spurs, you can't say, right? They win one game 2-0 against a very good team. That's just an example. And the next game, they'll probably lose 2 or 3-0 to a very average or a bad team, right? So it's difficult to say exactly which Spurs team is gonna turn up. But I think I'll still play Tony. Go for that chance. I mean, Weghorst is a very frustrating option to own, to be very honest. And Wolves are a good defense, so not too sure for Weghorst. Start Foden, Pookie, or Nketiah, or should I take a chance that Foden will not come on late? I think he will come on late. It's very, very. The issue with Pep is that he sometimes also doesn't make any substitutions, right? But before the Madrid game, I don't think so. He will fully rest Foden. I mean, there probably is a chance that he plays a few minutes and have. I mean, if you have Foden, unless you really have. Mm, I mean, if I have Foden, I'll probably start Foden ahead of Pookie and Ketia. Both are not bad options, but I'll still take a chance for that Man City midfielder. Right, game is against Watford. Yes, there's a high chance that he might not even play if they're winning 4 or 5-0. But I just feel I think he probably will get minutes, and against Watford, he can even score after coming on the pitch. So I'll still play Personally, I'll still play Foden, but I think it's fine even if you go for an Nketiah. See, Nketiah is also not 100. I know there's a lot of talk around Nketiah, and then suddenly he's become this FPL option, but there's a chance that he can get benched, right? I mean, yes, Arsenal and Arteta don't really change a lot of things when things are going fine, but I can't really 100% with 100% surety. I can't say that Nketiah is definitely going to start. Pookie definitely starts against Newcastle. Whether he scores, Newcastle are a decent defense. I'll still start Ford. Personally, I'll start Foden. On a wild card, Schmeichel, Foster, Trent, Laporte, Cancelo, James, Cash, Salah, Havertz, Mount, Saka, Kulusevski. Forwards are Watkins, Pookie, Mateta. I think a decent. I mean, you have Havertz plus Mount, which is gonna be differential in itself. Salah is safe. Saka is a good option still. Kulusevski could become. I mean, I don't know how much money you have. But yeah, you can play around with Kulusevski in terms of what you want to do with him. Trent, really, really good option. Laporte, Cancelo, a good, strong Man City double up. Not much to change here, to be very honest. Watkins could become a Richarlison if you trust the Everton attack. But I think Watkins for that double. The issue that I mentioned earlier, right, in the stream, that with Watkins you never know, and with Villa also you never know, because they could be a beach team. They don't, or they probably won't have a lot to play for anyways. So Watkins even could get rested because he's gotten a lot of minutes. So let's see. Also, Maguire can be benched today for Varane and Bailey. Eric Bay, sorry. Vaguely on Twitter, it's again said that Martinelli will be on the bench and Arteta will go for the same team against United as well. Uh, man, what to do? What to do? Guys, what do you think? Martinelli is gonna start. Should we play Martinelli or Rafinha? So I've not done the Mount transfer yet, but should we play Martinelli or should we play Rafinha? Who do you think we should play in the 11? We can only play one. Again, I'm not saying that Martinelli is gonna start, but I just can't trust the United defense. Uh let's see. Rudiger, Doherty, Weghorst out for Alonso, Laporte, Joao Pedro. Yeah, I mean, okay. Alonso, double, Laporte, decent. Joao Pedro, isn't Joao Pedro injured? Again, I might have been completely wrong there, but I thought Joao Pedro was injured. Oh no, that was Cuco Hernandez. My bad. Yeah, I mean, decent. I don't mind that. Using wildcard, David De Gea, Cancelo, Laporte. David De Gea, Cancelo, Laporte, Matip, Robertson, James, Son, Salah, Mount, Havertz, captain, Rodriguez. Can you suggest? I mean, I don't like Rodriguez up top at all. Uh, I'll probably just take a chance with somebody like an Nketiah. I don't think so. Mateta also gets regular minutes now, or maybe someone like a Pookie. I mean, Yes, he's from Norwich, but I think he can still score. Norwich can still score goals. And if Norwich score, I think Pukki's going to be involved. The fixtures are going to get trickier because they have West Ham. They have a double in West Ham and Leicester, both defensively not very strong teams. But then they have Wolves and Tottenham as well. Still, I mean, he's still a better option than Rodriguez for sure. If you can again afford it, because I think they're at two different price points. To be very honest, rest. I mean, Robertson and Matip. I'll probably have Trent and somebody else in there. Uh, but yeah, rest looks okay. I mean, Son could become a Man City mid. Salah, Mount, Havertz are decent options. Doherty to Anderson and Broha to Mateta. Doherty to Anderson and or Broha to Mateta. Which one is a better move this week? Mm, I mean, Anderson is also not a very great option, to be honest. Mateta, Palace against Leeds could do well. I'll probably take a chance with Mateta, to be honest. I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'll do the attacking change instead. I'll probably go Broha to Mateta. De Bruyne for captain instead of Mount. If you're chasing, if you are okay taking a bit of a risk, then definitely go for it. Start Kyle Walker Peters or Broha. I mean, I probably can start Walker Peters. I mean, Brighton don't really have the best of attacks. They find it actually tricky to score goals. So Kyle Walker Peters could be okay, but defensively they're sound. So he's not gonna get any. Mostly he's not gonna get attacking returns. But still would start Walker Peters. I think better option. Alonso and Werner in for Rudiger and Lacazette for a -4. I think it's worth it. Yeah, absolutely worth it. Do I start Simikas just in case Robertson gets benched? No, I won't start Simikas. Wildcard in 34, bench boost in 36. Michael, Cancelo, Laporte, Alonso, Trent, Salah, Mount, Havertz, Son, Mateta, Pukki. Your bench is Foster, Saka, Emerson Royal, Joao Pedro. Any suggestions? Bench boost in 36. That should help you. So Foster, I mean, two tough games, but again, you're getting a bench. Saka is a good option. Emerson Royal, tricky. I mean, it's a decent bench, absolutely. I The other option is that you can probably save a little bit, go a little cheaper. Maybe I don't know how much money you have left, but Emerson Royal to maybe a Davis, you'll probably save about point 4, point 5, something around that, and then you can invest that somewhere else, or you can probably just if you have enough money, you probably even go Alonso to James. I'm not sure whether you have that, but I mean the rest looks okay, pretty much okay. Start Broha Size. I'll probably start Size. Pookie or Rodriguez. I'll start Pookie. Drop Kane for Werner. I will. I have. Risky, but again, if you are chasing, I think it's a good move. If you are playing safe, don't do it. Son or De Bruyne for next two game weeks. I like a Man City mid for the next two. De Bruyne is good. Could still get rest because of the Champions League games, but and I think Son would definitely not have. I think if you consider both, I'll probably say Son. I think Sterling would probably get more minutes in the league because you know he's definitely not a nailed starter in the Champions League for Pep. So I think yeah, I think I'll probably still say Son in both the options. But if it's Son and Sterling, then I think it's Sterling. Have both Kai and Mount. Do I captain Salah now? I mean, you can, right? Kai and Mount in itself are going to be differential. So I think that, I mean, that definitely is fine for me. But again, if you want to really chase and if you want really are looking at massive upside and you're okay taking that risk, if you fall as well, right? Then I think go one of Kai or Mount. But if you have both, I'll probably still captain Salah. Bringing Sterling on wildcard looks really, really good. Reports going on that Maguire to be benched for United against Arsenal. Yes, I've also read that. In fact, I read that yesterday as well. A lot of stuff has happened in terms of Maguire. Of course, the way he's playing could be one reason. The all that bomb stuff and the threat and all those things that happened, that could be another thing. Yeah, and that might just make our defense a little bit better, maybe. Take a poll on Insta story about who to start between Martinelli and Rafinha. Ideally, it should be Rafinha. I mean, yeah, the mind says Rafinha, the heart says Martinelli. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I think I will just. I mean, I don't want to do Rafinha against Palace at away. Leeds are not great travelers, and Palace are really good at home. And I think Vieira would definitely have a plan for Leeds, at home. I am not liking that fixture, but I know he's gonna get more minutes at least. So probably it could be just a difference of 1 point, right? Rafinha scores two if Palace score, and Martinelli scores one because he's coming on for the last 10 minutes. That could absolutely happen. Half an hour to go. I think we should definitely think of making the move now. Salah or Mount for captain, Salah safer, Mount if you're chasing. Are you free hitting this week? I'm not free hitting this week. Still have a plan to free hit in 36. Don't think it'll be 37. I just feel the fixtures are better for 36. If, let's say, if City double in 36, right, then it's absolutely 36. Mount or Havertz, Mount safer, Havertz good for this week because he got rested against Arsenal. If you're looking for a long-term move, long-term pick, then definitely Mount. More consistent, probably going to get more minutes than Havertz. And if he's playing in that number 10 position, right? If Chelsea are still playing that 3-4-1-2, I think he's a much better option than Havertz, who will probably end up drifting a bit wider along with Timo Werner, right? And I think Mount will get a lot of the ball. He will have a lot of chances to himself as well. He will take a lot of shots. So I think Mount long term, absolutely. Havertz, if he just for this week, then Havertz. Great stream start Mateta or Pookie this week. I like Pookie. Mateta against Leeds is also a good option, but Pookie against Newcastle. I mean, Mateta got rested in the last game. Could play this one. It's against Leeds. It's at home. I'll probably just prefer Mateta. I mean, it's a close one. If you go Pookie, who's in decent form against a Newcastle defense, it's just that Mateta's playing a weaker defense. It's at home, and I think I'll probably start Mateta. Just Salah or Mount for captain. Salah safer. Mount chasing. If you're chasing, then you go Mount. Salah or Mount captain already answered. Thanks for the suggestion. Just brought in 10 and Pookie switching with Roberts and Rodriguez for the wildcard. I think it's good. Play Weghorst or Broha or get -4 to Broha or get -4 to Broha from Broha to Mateta and play him. I mean, Mateta could be okay. No option is good, right? I mean, no option is great among all these. I probably would go Nketiah. I mean, if you don't mind having an Arsenal attacker who could get, I mean, you can't really say that Mateta is probably gonna get a lot many minutes than an Nketiah, right? High chances that Nketiah gets minutes. I probably won't do it for a hit. Any of the transfers, whether it's a Mateta or an Nketiah, I'll just probably play one of Weghorst or Broha. If I have to choose one option, I'll probably just play Broha instead of Weghorst. Wolves again, I probably think are gonna keep a clean sheet on this one. Salah or Mount for captain? I've answered this. Should I take out Matty Cash and Ben Davis for Reece James and Brandon Williams? No, I don't think so. I'll do that. I mean, you're taking out unless you have a plan to get in cash later on, maybe Villa assets later on. Villa has a double. Depends on your strategy as well. If you're just targeting this week, I mean, if it's not for a hit, I'll probably do it. I mean, Brandon Williams, does he even? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know this, but does he start for Norwich? Let's see. Yeah, he's not started the last three. So I mean, if it's just a move to have just bench fodder, then maybe it's fine. Depends on your bench if you're bench boosting or not, right? If you're not bench boosting, then I think it's fine. You get the advantage of a double. And you have Brandon Williams, so you not really have a lot of money on the bench. If you're bench boosting, then Matty Cash, I don't think so. That's the move. On a wildcard, swap Foden and Gordon for Mahrez and KDB. Mahrez is not nailed at all. KDB could also get rested. Having said that, I think that the zero, I think no money in the bank and need City mid to play 34 and 35. Let's just quickly see 34 and 35. I mean, there's definitely going to be rotation, but do you think KDB start? Of course, KDB starts that Madrid game. Foden starts that Madrid game. So these are two players that I think are going to get reduced minutes, if not a complete rest. I think Mahrez is definitely going to play. Yeah, and that's a lot of money. I mean, if you're okay taking a bit of a risk, then probably Mahrez and KDB. But if it's very if it's to protect rank, then probably Foden. I think Foden still a long term is still a decent long term move. I can't really trust Mahrez, right? I mean, Pep can actually do Pep things, and we might just end up struggling with what he's doing. So not sure. Still, unless you're really chasing, I won't go Mahrez. And oh, oh, I think that's Dewsbury Hall. My bad. I completely missed that. Mahrez and Dewsbury Hall, right? That's not Kevin De Bruyne. Absolutely not. Sorry, that's my bad. So you're basically saying Foden or Mahrez in 34 and 35. I still feel Mahrez has probably higher chances of getting more minutes than Foden in 34 and 35. I mean, yeah, I don't mind for 34, 35. I don't mind Mahrez and Dewsbury Hall, to be honest. I think Foden's def. I have a feeling that Foden's gonna get rested in this one. Salah or Mount for captain. I have answered that. I can't really help you with your ID, man. I need you need to probably ask a question. I can't. I won't be able to check your ID at all. Just tell me if you have any questions. Barnes to Foden thoughts, and then Digne to a 4.5 defender, probably Mitchell or Emerson. I'll probably go if I'm going for a 4.5 defender. I'll probably just go Davis. I think he's more nailed. Yeah, I don't like the look of Emerson Royal at all. I mean, if you have to have a playing defender, then I'll probably just play Davis. Emerson is a good differential, but I just don't think he's a great attacking option at all. Guys, just give me a moment. I'll just probably see for the final time if we have something on Martinelli. Otherwise we're playing Rafinha. I think we are. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll probably just. Yep. Fun final time, guys. Should I start Martinelli or should I start Rafinha? Help me, help me. I need help. I really need help. About 20 minutes to go. What do you guys think? Martinelli or Rafinha? Let me know in the chat. Who to drop for Havertz, Kulu or Madison? Who to drop for Havertz? Comma. Kulu or Madison. I will probably take out Kulusevski. I mean, Kulusevski is also a good option, but I'll probably just take out him. Yeah, ahead of Madison. I think Madison can still provide for Leicester, and I think he's a good option. Who to bench? I have Thiago, Schär, Trent, Cancelo, Laporte, Odegaard, Saka, Salah, Mount, Madison, Broha, Dennis, and Werner. I mean, I'll definitely play Thiago Silva. I'll play Schär. I'll play Trent. I'll play. Let's see. I'll probably bench one of Odegaard. I mean, I don't think so. I can have Saka and I'll be covered in terms of the Arsenal attack. And I'll probably bench Dennis. Yeah, I don't think so. Dennis is gonna get anything in this game. I can even play a 5-4-1, right? I can play all five defenders. I can have a midfield of Saka, Salah, Mount, and Madison, and then just play Werner. I think that's also pretty decent. Or just get Coutinho instead of Foden and relax. I mean, yeah, Coutinho is slightly longer term, but and he could do well. I mean, don't get me wrong here. I think he's still a decent option. I just feel he's nowhere close to the explosivity Man City mid can get you, right? I know there'll be shared minutes and there'll be less minutes. So if you don't want to go through that hassle, I mean, get Coutinho. He's probably the safest. Having said that, I still feel there is some upside with Coutinho also, right? Because Coutinho also won't be owned by a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people would have sold Coutinho as well. So, I mean, he's probably definitely going to give you more minutes. But a single Foden Hall or a Mahrez Hall, and I'm tempting you towards a Man City mid. I probably just, if I'm thinking a little long term, I think playing a little safer and thinking long term, I'll go Coutinho. If you're trying to chase and trying to maybe chase a haul, maybe chase ranks, maybe you're chasing somebody in your mini league, then I'll definitely go for. I'll probably go for Mahrez then. I won't even go for Foden. Also, in whose place should I get in Mount? I have Saka, Odegaard, Salah, Ramsey, and Madders. I mean, depends on your budget. I probably would want to take out Odegaard and get in Mount. I think Saka is good enough for Arsenal attack. Caught up on the stream now. Thanks for joining, Shan. Who to captain between Salah, Werner, Havertz? Salah safest. Havertz, if you're chasing Werner, if you absolutely want to go crazy and just try to have some fun, I think Werner is the option then. Rudiger is better than Alonso or Laporte. Rudiger out, sorry, and Alonso Laporte. I think we didn't get any information regarding a double for City, so I'll probably just go Alonso. Building a bench boost for 36 or keep Rudiger for 36 and do Adams to Pookie this week. I think I'll try to chase the upside with Alonso. I don't think so. Uh, there's any point of keeping Rudiger. I think even if you keep him, right, he's most weeks he's either a 6 pointer, 6 to 7 points on an average. Let's say we include a bonus point in there as average, or maybe just 2 points, right? So I think Alonso for sure. Wildcard this week, bench boost in 36. Foster, Schmeichel, Cancelo, Trent, Laporte, James, Cash, Salah, Son, Kai, Mount, Dewsbury Hall, Pookie, and Ketty. I like it. I think I'm not sure how much is Gelhardt. I think if they're the same price, you can probably just go Gelhardt. 36, Kai, Mount, Greenwood to Richarlison. I mean, yeah, if you're making the transfer anyways, I think it's absolutely fine. Kai, Mount, Greenwood to Richarlison, Phil Foden, and Gordon. I think it's a decent bench. Laporte, Cancelo, if looking for long-term starts, I think definitely Cancelo. Yes, and for my precious chat, it's for one hit. I mean, I won't do it for a hit for sure. Cancelo and Shar, no hit versus Laporte and Alonso for a -4. I like Laporte and Alonso for a -4. Cancelo and Shar for no hits. I mean, I like Cancelo more than I like Laporte. Shar could cover Alonso, maybe not. I mean, Cancelo is massive, right, in terms of what he's done so far. So I think I'll still go Cancelo and Shar. I know I'm probably letting off Alonso's. So if you have somebody like a James already in your team, I think it's Cancelo and Shar. But I mean, immediate terms, I like Laporte and Alonso a little bit more. Buemo, I won't go there personally. I know he's been in okay form, but and the better players, you might not want to pick up a midfielder, especially Buemo, for example, when you have such premium options available. Let's see, guys. Just give me a moment. We have about 15 minutes, but I'll probably just make my move right now. Um, I think we'll just go Rafinha. I mean, I don't want to go Rafinha, but yeah, I mean, let's just do that. Let's just trust the United team to do something against Martinelli, against the Arsenal attack. But yeah, I'll be cursing myself if Martinelli does something now when he's not done anything at all. So we are making the move. We're taking out Martinelli. We're getting in Mount. Money is not a problem, so that's absolutely fine. Let me just quickly make it. So that's basically a -8 taken now. Yeah, I think that's fine. So now Mount is in. Rafinha stays. Let's just hope. Palace away. Not too sure. Not too sure. Which two should I play between Coutinho, Mateta, and Pookie? I'll definitely pick Coutinho. And I'll play Mateta. I know there's a risk in terms of minutes, but against Leeds, I think I'll take my chances, especially when Palace is at home. Play White or Shar. I'll play Shar. Van Dijk and Dennis versus Watkins and Matip or Cash. Mm, I mean, Van Dijk and Matip both don't really represent any as much as goal threat or as much goal threat as a Robertson or Trent. I mean, there's no question about it, right? So would I really want to spend that much money and go for a cheaper striker? Dennis doesn't have a great double. I mean, those fixtures could be tricky. I'll probably just go Watkins and Matip. Uh, or if you're okay taking a bit of a chance, and if you have your bench boost, right? If you plan to play your bench boost in 36, I think then Coutinho plus no, I read something else. Watkins plus Cash is okay. On a wild card, I think I've answered this question. Martinelli. Rafinha, I mean, we've already done it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, let's just hope Martinelli doesn't do anything. Otherwise, it's just gonna be bad, right? It's just gonna be one of those weeks, isn't it? It's when we aim to get towards 10K, but we end up maybe falling back. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. Neves to Mount and Jimenez to I didn't understand the question, JR. If you can just maybe write it in a different way. Are you saying Neves out? So you're saying Neves to Mount and Jimenez to Gelhardt. I mean, if it's for a, I mean, it's fine. Gelhardt is not really going to give you a lot, but Mount is a really good option. A massive upgrade over a Neves. So yeah, I don't mind that. Is minus 12 worth it? Depends on your minus 12 players. I mean, what kind of players are you targeting, right? If you're targeting Chelsea attackers, absolutely worth it. If you're looking for upside, absolutely worth it. Even if you're looking for long term, I mean, it's absolutely fine. If you don't have a wild card, this is an ideal week to probably play like a mini wild card where you take hits and, set up your team for 35, 36, 37, and 38. I mean, it's not really a bad move at all, because I think a lot of people are gonna who don't have wild card, they will be and they will end up taking a lot of hits, right? So I don't think so it'll be massive. And if your players really bank and they do really well, right, minus one is absolutely nothing. You can absolutely do it. Who is the best super cheap forward to buy on a wild card? Your bench boosting in 36. I mean, Gelhardt. A lot of people are saying that Gelhardt could start or have some minutes. So that could be an option. But if you still want to go ultra cheap and you are looking at a starter, right? Mm, I mean, you can go Dennis. I think he will start both games. Joao Pedro, again, I think the injury to Cuco Hernandez is going to be a lot more than I think we were expecting earlier. So I think that is also an option. I think one of the Watford attackers is an option. Gelhardt, if you are very tight in terms of money, even Nketiah, right? And Nketiah could also get Leeds and Tottenham. I mean, both scoring. I think if I really have to go for one option, I think Nketiah is a great punt if you are okay taking a bit of a chance. Sterling Dennis and a 4.4 bench attacker transfer out bench boost and book in transfers or Coutinho, Richarlison, and Pukki. So Sterling Dennis and a 4.5 bench attacker. You're transferring out that attacker, I'm assuming, and you book in transfers or Coutinho, Richarlison, and Pukki. Mm, I mean, longer term, I think Coutinho, Richarlison, Pukki looks good. But yeah, I mean, let's just quickly see the fixtures once. I'll just quickly look at the fixtures once. I mean, yeah, Richarlison for 36 and 37 is looking absolutely fine. So I don't mind that. I don't mind that. So on to Havertz for a -4. If you're playing safe, then no. If you're chasing, then absolutely yes. I mean, there's no other way to explain this better, right? So, is Matip set to start for Liverpool? Looks like that he can start. I think it's going to be Matip and Van Dijk. I think that's going to be the two. Who to captain, Havertz versus Mount? Mount is a bit safer. Both are differential options, absolutely, but Mount is slightly safer. Maybe gets more minutes than Havertz over the two games, but Havertz rested or benched against in the Arsenal game. I think he could probably end up definitely starting both. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're chasing in your mini leagues and if you feel that a lot of people might captain Mount, then you go Havertz. And if you just want to protect rank and if you're leading in your leagues, leading in terms of your overall rank, etc., and you are just protecting and consolidating your rank, then probably just go Mount. So on to Havertz for a -4. I've answered this. Cancelo or James? This week definitely James has higher upside. Madison to Mount or Kulu to Mount? Kulusevski to Mount. Mount or Werner cap? Again, same argument, right? Chasing big time in the league, I'll go Werner. I won't go. I won't go Mount. I'll definitely go Werner. Will Chalobah play? Could play one game. Who would you start between Wang and Broha this week? I'll start Wang. I mean, don't like the prospects of Broha at all. And when I've said that, I'm pretty sure he's gonna score a brace. I hope he doesn't. A lot of people will kill me. Um, Worth playing triple captain this time with either Mount, Werner. Again, if you're chasing big time in your league, which you are, I think it's fine. Otherwise, 36 is also an option where if Man City get a double in 36, that could be a decent option as well. Apart from Salah, having a triple captain at this stage itself is chasing, so is an upside. Sorry. Um, I need to play one. Shall I go for Tony or Bowen? I mean, Bowen is Chelsea. Bowen is definitely the better player. Tony, I mean, I'll still go Bowen. There could be a sneaky goal somewhere. Mateta or Wood? Will play Wood against Norwich. Mateta against Leeds. Probably Wood. Thoughts on this for a wildcard this week? Bench boost in 36 and free hit in 37. Guaita, Alonso, Reese, Trent, Cash, Coutinho, Mount, Saka, Son, Salah, Broha. Bench is Foster, Mateta, White, Dennis. I mean, it's a decent squad. Alonso, Reese, James, Trent, Cash. I mean, it's equally spread in terms of your bench boost in 36. And for this week, you have a double up on Alonso and Reece James plus Mount. So I think you've covered there as well. I think it's a decent team. So on to Havertz for a -4. I've answered this question. Please don't type it again. It's if you're chasing, do it. If you are playing safe, don't. And when I say chasing, let's say if you are if behind in your mini leagues, if you are looking to gain ranks, then you probably do that. Lacking City assets because as a Liverpool fan, hope they don't return. I mean, yeah, let's see. It's hard for the City assets to not return. They probably would get shared minutes, but if they get minutes, they're absolutely gonna bang. Our bench remains the same, right? Yes, Mount for Martinelli and Raf in the 11. Yes. So the bench would be quickly. I'll just tell you. It's gonna be Sanchez, White, Adams, and Weghorst on the bench. Captain is Salah. Vice captain is Werner. Let's go for it. Need your help? Start Broha, Ramsey, or Ward-Prowse. I mean, oh man. Don't like Ward-Prowse or Broha. I mean, Brighton are a good team and they've done really well over the past few weeks. I think I'll probably start Ramsey and probably try to get that one odd haul where he scores 10, 12 points, maybe. Don't like Broha or Ward-Prowse. Is it? It's not Ward-Prowse. It's Walker Peters. My bad. I mean, even if it's Walker Peters, probably the conversation shifts a little bit. I'll still start Ramsey. I mean, let's take a chance with that Leicester defense. Going with Mount captain, I'm personally not. I'm sticking with Salah. You can, if you're chasing, absolutely. KDB captain, better options out there. But again, if you're chasing and if you want to do things a bit differently, maybe you just want to have some fun, KDB is not a bad shout. Minutes could be an issue. He might just play 45, maybe even 60 minutes and just come off because Pep would want him really, really bad in that Champions League game. Joe Pedro, Dennis for bench boost 36. I think it'll be Dennis. I think he's gonna get more starts now. Triple captain mount still have bench boost for Gameweek 36 left. I don't mind that if you're chasing. Absolutely not. 36 could also be. I mean, if you're using a bench boost for 36, then triple captain mount is pretty good. If you're pretty much set on a bench boost in 36, because you will have Salah, you might even have a Man City attacker in there, but rotation could come in play, and I think mount is good. I think if you're chasing, then absolutely. Start Mateta or Broha or Weghorst or Willock. I'll still start Mateta. Have Mount, Kai, Salah, who to captain. Salah safer. Same conversation, right? Salah safest. Mount slightly safer. Kai, if you wanna go crazy. I think that's probably just the best way to explain it. Hey Akila, I hope you're doing fine. I've seen you after a long time on the stream today. I have Mount. I've answered this. Werner Alonso for a -4. Again, tricky. Would go Werner. I mean, don't mind that. Chelsea could concede. Alonso might get benched. Maybe for an odd game. You never know. I'll still go Werner. If you're chasing upside, definitely Werner. Start and first bench between Weghorst, White, Brohan, Gordon. I'll definitely bench. Start and first bench between. I mean, I'll start White. I don't want to start White, but I'll probably out of these options I'll start White and benched Weghorst, Broha, and Gordon. The order probably would be Broha, Weghorst, and Gordon. Next 4 weeks are gonna be just chips for me. I have all of them saved. That is absolutely crazy, man. Like all the chips available right now, that could be a great finish. Start Mateta over Broha or Weghorst or Willock. I've answered this. Play three Coutinho, Watkins, Madison, and Weltman. I'll play Coutinho. I'll play Watkins, and I'll probably take a chance with Madison. Yeah, more upside with all these players, right? Start Ramsdale or Dubravka. I'll start Ramsdale. I don't mind starting Ramsdale at all. Weghorst or Pookie for sure. For some reason, I really think United will kill it today and Ronaldo will score, give a tribute to his son. I mean, I really hope that happens. Really sad that happened with him. Maguire's not there at the back, so United have play. I mean, yeah, let's see. Let's see. I mean, Maguire not being there is definitely going to help us, right? United fans in on the stream in the chat, do let me know what you think of you know Maguire not playing and what are our chances this time around. Alonso or James? Definitely James. Nketiah or Pookie? Like Nketiah for this week. Don't mind him. Arrange those, please. One will play, and then the bench order will be. I'll play Cody ahead of White for sure. Even if you have Ramsdale, I mean that's fine. Cody still has high chance of a clean sheet, and the bench order will be. I think Broha, White, Weghorst, or could even go White, Broha, Weghorst. I think both are decent. Bench one, Cody or Weghorst, definitely Weghorst. Nketiah or Pookie, Nketiah, Pookie throughout the season. I still don't mind. So if you want to play safer, I think Pookie's gonna get you more starts, but Nketiah probably is the slightly more explosive option because I mean Arteta could still stick with him, might keep Martinelli on the bench, and might just give him a lot of chances because Lacazette is definitely leaving this summer, and the kind of comments that he made in the press that he wants to play for a different club now, he wants to go back to Lyon and all that stuff. Arsenal, especially with that top four race in play, I don't think so. That's gonna sit very well with with Arteta and Lacazette. Bench one, Cody, Weghorst, or Davis. Is it Davis? I'll probably bench Weghorst. Hope you have a great game week. Oh man, it's deadline already. I hope you guys made your transfers. I hope I was able to help you in some way or the other. The end of it got a bit crazy, but we always love that. We always love a bit of chaos on the stream. Hope you've gotten your captains and your players saved and got it right. And let's just hope all the best for game week 34. Let's just hope you have a great game week. And thank you so much again for joining. I mean, absolutely a pleasure talking to you guys, helping you comb through different strategies and different doubts in terms of FPL, in terms of what you guys can do. Have to agree, got a little bit crazy for me as well. I mean, in terms of which one to go for, whether it's Rafinha and Martinelli. I don't think so. It's probably going to be that massive in terms of a difference. Both are decent differentials in their own regards. And I mean, it might be just 1 point between them where Rafinha is scoring two and Martinelli is scoring one. So you never know. Triple captain for Mount. I mean, I would have loved to do that if you're chasing this week. I think it's a really, really good option. It's very risky. I mean, there's no denying that fact, but you only do it if you're chasing. Otherwise, if you're playing a little safer or if you want to consolidate your rank, then probably wait for game week 36, where you have Salah having a double game week, and you also might just end up having a Man City option with Man City having a double game week fixture with the Wolves fixture that they have still pending to be arranged. I think that could be an option as well. It was nice to join the stream after such a long time. I'm glad got a chance to speak to you as well. Always welcome on the stream. Let's hope that we end the season on a high. I mean, yeah, my last year's rank was 16k, 16,000. Hoping to beat that at least. I mean, not very far from there, and having a bench boost and a free hit available might just make it. Let's see. Let's see. Anyways, so what else is happening? What else are you guys doing? I mean, what do you guys think about this week's games? Do you think Man United is going to do anything against Arsenal and Chelsea? I mean, what do you think? How badly are we going to play in both the games? That is my worry. I mean, of course, exciting times with Ten Hag coming in and all that stuff happening in the background. But this season is still to play. I mean, and I've seen a lot of people already talking about United being the beach team that they don't have anything to play for. And feels just too odd that we still have the top four to play for. I mean, yes, it's looking very tricky and very difficult, but I mean we can still finish in the top four if Arsenal and Tottenham really play bad or they just mess up at the end. I mean, there are chances. It's not unless or until it's mathematically impossible. I would not consider that possibility, or I would not probably think that we can't do that. So let's see. Maguire, of course, whatever's happening with him, yes, he's been bang average, and he's probably been one of the worst signings for United in a long time. But I just feel, I mean, whatever the people are doing in terms of death threats, in terms of him getting, all that, the bomb thing that happened, there was a bomb threat as well. That's just not right. I mean, there are different ways to express your concern when you're talking about your best team or your favorite team or you're a fan of the team or whatever, but you probably just don't go that far. Cancelo, Pookie in, Doherty, Kane out for a -4, Salah captain, and Son in next week for me. I think it's a good plan. I think a lot of people are probably ignoring Tottenham assets, and that might not be the right play here, right? Everybody's going absolutely ballistic in terms of Chelsea players, and Chelsea. Let's assume if Chelsea really play bad in one of the games, right? I don't think so. It'll be our game. I still feel United are going to struggle against Chelsea, but I mean, West Ham could spring a surprise. You never know. You absolutely don't know what's going to happen there. And if people taking -8s, -12s, all these wildcard, different drafts where you have a lot of Chelsea players and you have like different combinations, somebody going for attack, somebody going for defense, and all of that stuff. And Chelsea blanking is going to be massive. But yeah, I mean, having said that, having one of Kane and Son is still a very good option. I mean, yes, the double in 36 is looking very tricky. But there is no certainty in terms of them not scoring, right? I mean, they can absolutely score. Kane and Son can still score against the likes of Arsenal. They have the Arsenal game, right? The second game is the Arsenal game. Yeah, Liverpool could be a bit tricky, but Liverpool again will give them a fair few chances. I still feel, yes, Liverpool's defense has Van Dijk, has been doing okay, but I mean, it could still happen that one of Son or Kane can score against them as well. You forget to press the confirm button. No, man. I feel for you. I really feel for you. I mean, that's not cool. What team do you have though? I would love to know that. But yeah, so that's the reason we say that, you know, make your changes a little bit earlier. Don't keep it till the very end, and probably just do it. Maybe just do it half an hour before, just to avoid any kind of confusion, any kind of server errors, any kind of internet issues, and all that stuff, and probably just recheck it once again. But yeah, Dallo, Trent, and Cancelo. I mean, Trent and Cancelo is still fine. There's no issue with that. Dallo is the issue. I mean, double week, whether he's gonna play both games could be, but yeah, I'm not too happy there. Not too happy in terms of his output and what he's probably doing for United. So don't know. That could be a tricky one, but otherwise Trent and Cancelo are good options. Werner captain, absolutely massive. I really want Werner to do well. I mean, I've been feeling he's been unlucky. I think he's probably taken a lot of time to fit into the system as well. He's of course missed a lot of chances. Yes, he's gotten a lot of big chances when and you know, sometimes it's just created on a plate for him and he's not able to finish. But I still feel there is more to come from Werner. I don't think so. This is the end, and then I think he's definitely going to improve. Let's see. Saka, Salah, Madison, Weghorst, Mateta, Gallagher, and Kane. Captain Saka, man, that's yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna sting a little bit. Well, let's just hope. For your sake, I of course don't want him to do anything at all, but I just hope for your sake he does well and then he gives you certain points this week. I mean, it's gonna be tricky, but he's in good form. His numbers are good. He's the best option in that, you know, mid-range price for midfielders. Could still do absolutely fine. I was just watching the FPL Wire talking about Son versus Kane this week, saying Norwich gaming 38 is a Kane game. Yeah, looks like more of a Kane game than a Son game. I think Norwich will just go for in that game. I mean, it could be anything at all, right? It could be four goals to maybe a Norwich, maybe a Spurs team. Could be 4-3, 5-2. I mean, could be a massive scoreline that game. So yeah. Uh, I mean, yeah, in general, right? We've seen Kane playing a lot deeper, playing, trying to create a lot for the likes of Son, and Son has been very clinical. I mean, he's overperformed his expected numbers by a massive length, and it is because of his finishing as well that, you know, Kane has been getting those assists as well, right? Playing for the fans in front, you know, yeah, I mean that could really be in any kind of a scoreline, and that could really help Son as well. Just feel, I mean, if you are chasing the upside like me, maybe one of them could be brought back. But yeah, it also depends on your structure, right? If you don't have a wild card available, then I think it gets a bit tricky because you probably might have to take or make two transfers, end up taking one hit. And would you want to spend more transfers on a probably a Tottenham player where probably there are other strategies in play, where there are other calls to make. Let's say if you have a bench boost, if you have a free hit, then your transfers etc. get affected. So you have to kind of get all of this in your mind as well. You bench Saka. I mean, against United, playing on that wing, he could do massive damage. But I hope he doesn't do anything. Whenever I hope he doesn't do anything, he ends up getting a penalty. He ends up scoring points. He ends up, I mean, scoring goals, playing really well for Arsenal. Martinelli's being Martinelli all season. I really thought it was such a canny move of going for Martinelli over a Saka. Right? Everybody's going for Saka, and I was like, no, I will definitely go for Martinelli, and I will see, and I will probably show the community that, you know, I had the insight or I had the foresight to go for somebody like a Martinelli because he's expected to make more starts. He's probably, I think, even the Arsenal experts, fans, forums, all of that stuff. I think most of the people are probably, you know, have spoken a lot about Martinelli starting up top, up front, but he's not done that the entire season, right? Of course, we had options in Aubameyang and Lacazette. Aubameyang doesn't really play up top a lot of the times. He kind of drifts wide, but I mean, yeah, that's what's happened. And finally, Martinelli is gone. Rafinha is in. I'm yet to change the team here, but that's the team. Havertz captain over Mount, not comfortable with my selection. It's a bit risky. Won't deny, won't lie at all. It's absolutely risky. The comfort zone comes in where Havertz has not played the Arsenal or not started the Arsenal game. So you expect, I mean, the expectation is there that Havertz is going to start this one. He's probably going to get more minutes over a Mount, who's played a lot of minutes over the past few games. But if Chelsea are playing a 3-4-1-2, as they have been over the last couple of games, Havertz has a tendency to drift wide a little bit, get Mount more involved in the game, even have the likes of Werner running a lot. Because when somebody like let's say if Reece James plays as a right wing back, right, the outlet in that case is probably going to be Havertz. So that's another avenue in terms of points for the Chelsea attacker, because he's definitely not going to punch in or put in balls for somebody like a Werner to head in, because I don't think so. Werner is a great header of the ball, and he's of course his movement is his strength and not the heading ability. And on the same, I don't think so. Even Mount is going to be involved a lot in terms of heading the ball in the goal, right? So that is where probably the height of Havertz and his overall game is kind of affected. But yeah, I mean, could happen. He could definitely outscore Mount, but I think it'll be very, very interesting now in terms of what's going to happen, whether Mount is going to get more minutes, whether he's going to get more hauls, what system is Tuchel going to play. A lot of unknowns in there. But yeah, let's just hope we all come on the right side of it. I'm 50th in my country, man. That would have hurt for sure. That's fine. I mean, don't get disappointed. It happens. Let's remember that at the end of the day, it's just a game. I know we're playing it dead seriously, and there are now a lot of people like me who are also creating content and all of that stuff. But I mean, it's still a game at the end of the day. Even if you've not done that well this week, it's absolutely fine. You can still come back and you know take some calls, take a few more risks. That's absolutely fine. It might just not work your way, but it's okay. That really happens, and you can still cover up in the next three odd game weeks. So I think 35 is a decent week. It's an important week, in fact. 36 you have a double. 36 37 also is a double, and 38, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in game week 38, right? Anything can happen. Could Ericsson be a good asset? He's been really good since the time has come for Brentford. But I mean, if you look at Brentford's fixtures, Southampton, Everton, and Leeds is a strong finish. Tottenham and United don't like it too much. United don't really know what's going to happen there. But yeah, Southampton, Everton, Leeds could be a decent option. He doesn't have a double, so you probably who would you play? Would you play a Dewsbury Hall, for example, or maybe an Ericsson? If it was me, I'd probably go the Ericsson route because he's just a more flair pick. He has a chance. He's on set pieces. Brentford can score goals from set pieces. They have the height in their defense. And I mean, I don't mind the move at all, to be very honest. Southampton are struggling in defense. Everton are still struggling in defense. Leeds also, we know they have an expansive way of playing football. Even now, they're not. Yes, they've improved a lot, under Jesse Marsh, but I still feel there are goals that Leeds can concede in there. And I think there are chances that you can tap onto that as well. So, not a bad option at all. I think Ericsson could be a great punt. I mean, if you consider single game week players, I think he has to be right up there in that particular price bracket. I think he's around 5 to 5.5 million, something around that price, maybe. So I don't mind him as an option. Great. Thank you so much, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining. I think we'll call it a day, and we'll end the stream here. Thank you so much again for joining. I hope I was able to answer all your questions, and I hope you have a great game week. Do watch all the matches. Do watch as much as football as you can. I think it's always good from an FPL perspective as well, and of course it's football. We all love football, right? We'll all here for the love of the sport. And I'll definitely see you next week. We'll of course be having streams that we always consider, consistently have these streams. In case if you've not subscribed to the channel, guys, please make sure that you do that. Also give a like to the stream, hit a like to the stream as well. I think it helps us reach more and more people. And if you subscribe, of course, to the channel, you'll have an idea and understanding about what kind of stuff we're doing, and you might just like it, right? A lot of more stuff is coming around. Starting a United playlist as well for those United fans, or if you are interested in strategy a little bit, I think that'll really interest you. Of course, then it's the next season, and there'll be a lot more stuff coming up from an FPL perspective specifically. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to end the season very, very strongly, and I hope you guys also do that. But let's catch up next time, next week, on the deadline stream. Make sure that you all also watch all the content coming before the deadline stream. There'll be team selection videos. There'll be probably a strategy guide of some sort. So do watch out for that as well, and we'll of course catch up on the stream. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in Sainers next time. Bye bye.